off this makeup tutorial, I'm using the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. I love this as a primer, especially during these winter months. It keeps my skin super hydrated and it does blur my skin to give my base a flawless blurred complexion. Then I'm going in with the Maybelline Superstay Foundation in the shade 105. I love this foundation. It's so super duper coverage and it's just as good as anything that you could get high end. So I just am applying that to my face and blending it out using my beauty blender. For concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Warm. I know that I said I don't like this concealer, you guys, but I can't stop using it, so I do like this concealer. It's just drying, but using the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer really helps combat that dryness that this concealer does give me, and also setting spray and not using a lot of powder and things like that. But I just applied my concealer to my face and now I'm blending it out using my beauty blender. I love the highlighted effect that the concealer is giving my under eyes and my forehead and everything. It really does bring a dimension and depth back into the face. Then to set my face, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Vibe. I'm just taking my damp beauty blender and I'm pressing that powder into my skin, and this will help keep your makeup lasting all day long. Now, I was trying my best to show you guys the completed eye look because it's so sparkly and so gorgeous, especially in person, but the camera was just not picking it up the way it looks in person. So I was trying to show you the best I could the eye look up close. To start off the eye look, I'm taking the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm taking the shade Silk Cream on a Morphe JH32 brush, and I'm using this shade as my transition shade. So I'm working that into my crease and I'm really trying to make sure that it's nice and buffed out and even all over the eyelid. This is the transition shade, so you don't have to worry about building up the intensity too much. And you just want to make sure everything is nice and blended. I am using windshield wiper motions, and I'm also dragging out any extra product on the brush on my outer corner to give a winged out effect because I love doing that with eye looks. Then I'm going to take the shade Pooter on a Morphe JH31 brush. This brush is a slightly more tapered and a little bit easier to fit in the crease. And I'm just going to work this shade into my crease, again using windshield wiper motions. And this time I just keep building it up until I get the intensity that I would like. And you also want to make sure that you are blending, blending, blending because you want the shades to look very seamless together. And again, when I have a little bit of product on the brush, I am taking that product and winging it out on the outer corner. And then I'm taking my e.l.f. concealer brush. I love using this brush to kind of like buff out the outer corner of my eyeshadow and just make it look softer and not so harsh. Then I'm taking the shade Buns on a Morphe JH35 brush. This brush really fits right there in your crease, and again, I'm going in with windshield wiper motions and I just keep packing that color on and building up that color, but also blending it out. You want to be careful with this shade and not take too much on the outer corner because it can get very intense. Then I'm going in with the shade Central Park on a Morphe E18 brush. This is the last eyeshadow I will be picking up, and this is the darkest, so we're keeping it the lowest on my eyelid. I am putting it on the outer corner of my eyelid and working it slightly up into my crease. I really don't want to take this shade too far up into my crease. And now I'm taking the JH35 brush with no extra product on it, and I'm just trying to blend those shades together to make sure everything is nice and blended. Then I'm going in with translucent powder on my Morphe E47 brush, and I do this to clean up the edge of my eyeshadow. It really helps to give you that nice defined line. Now I'm going in with concealer. I'm taking the same e.l.f. concealer on a Morphe M213 brush, and I'm starting to carve out my half cut crease All I do for this is I put some concealer on my lid and I look up, and then wherever the concealer meets in my crease, I just start carving out from there. And if you have hooded eyes, you definitely want to try this trick, because that is how you're going to get, you need to over draw your cut crease if you have hooded eyes like me. But yes, and take your time with that step. I know it seemed really fast because I had sped it up, but take your time with that step. I'm adding the shade Obsessed on a Morphe JH42 brush, and this is just as a base kind of for the next sparkly eyeshadow I will be putting over this. But for now, I'm going to go back in with Buns and Central Park, and I'm just going to try to really blend that into my half cut crease, because I want to make sure everything is nice and blended. The more blended your eyeshadow is, the better it looks. So I am just really packing on those colors and making sure that they are blending. I forgot to show you guys the product, but I'm using the Urban Decay Heavy Metal eyeshadows, and this is this shade Space Cowboy, and I am packing this shadow onto my lid. This is really the showstopper of this look, and I just wish the camera would pick up this sparkly eyeshadow the way it looks in person, and unfortunately it is not, but it's so sparkly and so gorgeous, I promise you guys. Now I'm taking Buns and I'm just smoking that shade out on my lower lash line. And I went ahead and added some lashes. I think they were Salon Perfect wispy lashes, and but I just had them sitting around. They were an extra pair. Then I'm going in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer and my little Hoola bronzer brush. I have the jumbo sized Hoola bronzer, and I don't like the brush for that. I prefer the small sized Hoola bronzer, and I'm just going to carve out my cheekbones and my jawline, start contouring and bronzing up my face. I use my bronzer as my contour. I am not a big contour person, so. And to blend out my bronzer, I'm using my Morphe M4 37 brush. I pick this brush up constantly to blend out my contour and my face, because we don't want any harsh lines. We want everything to look soft. And now I'm taking my Morphe JH02 brush, and I'm using this to apply that same bronzer to my forehead. I love this bronzer brush because it just applies the bronzer so fastly to your face. You hardly need to try, and bam, you have bronzer on your forehead. I love it. Then I'm taking my Morphe M506 brush, and again that same bronzer, and I'm going to contour my nose. This is super repetitive, so I really just don't want to get too much into it, but I draw 2 lines down the center of my nose. I also contour around my nostrils. This will give me the appearance of a smaller nose, and then contouring around my lip, like my cupid's bow, and under my lip will give me the appearance of a bigger lip. It's amazing what contour can do. And then I'm just going to blend out that contour using my e.l.f. concealer brush. I love this brush. It's so perfect for blending out contour in such a small area, such as the nose. Then I'm going to bake with my setting powder just to clean up the areas that we contoured, to make sure everything is nice and clean and sharp and that nothing looks messy. I love baking. Then I'm going in with the Tartist Pro Glow Highlight and Contour Palette, and I'm taking these 2 highlight shades, and these shades are stunning. This is like the best highlight I have used in a long time. I've had this palette forever, and I don't know why I just would always neglect the highlights in here, because they're so blinding and so gorgeous, and you have to try these highlights. You cannot go wrong with these highlights, I'm telling you. So I'm just highlighting my face, and then I'm going in with my Morphe E36 brush, and I'm using this brush to highlight the tip of my nose. It's perfect to get that little dot of highlight perfectly. And then I'm wiping away my bake using my e.l.f. concealer brush. And for blush, I'm going in with the Studio Makeup Luminous Loose Blush on a Morphe JH06 brush, and I love this blush. It just adds this healthy look to your skin, and look at that. Look at what blush does to the face. You can't tell me that you don't like blush. It looks so good, and I'm applying a little bit over my nose to get, you know, that kind of soft, glam, fresh sort of look. And then I'm going to take my Morphe M437 brush again, and I'm just wiping away the bake that we did under our contour. And I'm also using that brush to just soften all the products on my face. Then I'm taking my Morphe lip liner in the shade Coffee and Kissy, I love these lip liners. If you haven't tried these lip liners, you need to try them. They're so amazing and so affordable. Like, you really can't beat the Morphe lip liners. Then I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade Venus. I love this liquid lipstick. I just love the color of this. I use it all the time, but never alone. I always like to pair it with other lipsticks. I think it's just a gorgeous base for other lipsticks. Then I'm going in with the Maybelline Color Sensational lipstick in the shade 755. And this is like such a gorgeous lipstick from Maybelline, and it's only like $4, you guys. Do not sleep on the Maybelline lipsticks. I used to be obsessed with them and buy them all the time. But I thought this lip needed a little bit more, so I went ahead and added the Marc Jacobs High Shine Enamored lip gloss in the shade Sugar Sugar. And bam, that was perfect. Then I'm just going to set my face with the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face Setting Spray. This is the completed makeup look. It's so gorgeous and soft. It's just a sparkly, soft glam makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really wish the eyeshadow would show up how it looked in person. For some reason, the lighting here and my camera, they just don't do the eyeshadow justice, but the Urban Decay Heavy Metal eyeshadow in the shade Space Cowboy is literally amazing. Do not sleep on this eyeshadow. Next time you're at Sephora or Ulta, just swatch it and I swear you will fall in love with this eyeshadow just the way I did. I've loved this eyeshadow for many years and it's so gorgeous and sparkly in person. It just adds the perfect sparkle, like the perfect nude silver sparkle to a soft glam makeup look. It's just so gorgeous. This is one of my favorite eyeshadows and it just isn't shown any justice and I feel so bad for it because it's so gorgeous. I really hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and if you do decide to recreate it, please make sure to tag or DM me in your pictures because I always love seeing your guys' recreations. And please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel before you go. It always means so much to me anytime I get a new subscriber. You have no idea. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.